All right. We are live. New Year, everybody. This is Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist, and I decided to do an impromptu success seminar because I like to keep you guys on your toes and surprise you instead of announcing it or making an event or, actually having some preparation like a normal person. Once in a while, I'm just like, okay, I feel like doing something spur of the moment. I'll probably be doing one of these for Vet Tribe as well. So the reason I wanted to do this is because obviously first day of the year. This is the point where a lot of people lie to themselves about everything they're going to get done and how they're going to change and how they're going to be successful this year versus every other fucking year they've failed miserably at the things that they want for whatever they feel is missing in their lives. And there's a simple reason why people with this mentality fail. It's because they try and cram everything into a calendar date and expect their essence, consciousness, body, and mind to go along with this bullshit. And it is bullshit. New Year's resolutions are bullshit. And there's a reason that people quit the gym first week of February, because most people don't have the wherewithal or motivation to keep a consistent lifestyle going. I train in June like most people train in early January, meaning that I keep a certain amount of consistency and discipline throughout the year. And that's what helps me to get results that are better than most people's, because people that expect overnight change because it's fucking January 1st or January 5th or January 10th are going to fail quite a bit because they don't have the skill set built up inside mentally. And I'm not trying to be negative. I feel like people should obviously improve. But when I hear people talking about their New Year's resolutions or what they're going to do different, they're probably going to fail. And I'm not being negative. I'm being realistic because it happens over and over and over again. It's why people join gyms in January, because they're going to try hard for 30 days and then they're going to crap out, most of them. And it's because they're trying to create a consistent and disciplined person, short term versus building one long term over a longer period of time, which does lead to better success. So anyway, I put together some ideas and concepts that will help people to achieve what they need to in business and life. Probably going to go for about 15, 20 minutes on these and expanding on them. But I promise you there's something for everybody. And you'll get a lot more out of this than just making a bunch of New Year's resolutions and then throwing a lot of effort for about 7 days and failing fucking miserably. That I promise you. So right out the gate, and this is more for entrepreneurs and business owners, not 9-to-5ers. Nothing against 9-to-5ers. It's just a different audience. That's it. And you'll have a lot more success at this stuff because it's geared towards people that have control over a business or that are entrepreneurs and control over their income streams. Number one is be a student. And a lot of people never develop their skill sets. They don't ever go back to education, and education's a lot of things. It's YouTube videos, it's AI, it's freaking books, TikTok. You can get your education a lot of different ways. Doesn't necessarily have to be school. But being a student means you're constantly upgrading, learning, and challenging yourself to get better at your skill set, whatever it may be, industry, niche, whatever. I'm constantly reading books on PR. I'm constantly learning tactics that work to upgrade my own skills for my clients at PR. Being a student means consistent growth, and learners are earners, as they say. So just food for thought. Next thing I'm going to tell you is internal controls external. So if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur and you're riddled with imposter syndrome, you're riddled with fear of poverty, or freaking poverty mindset or fear of success, your business isn't going to do well. So it's important that you understand your internals because they control your business outputs and business performance. Your internal is everything. And this ties in directly with spirituality. By examining the things that are bothering you or keeping you up at night or causing anxiety, you learn to mitigate your fears. And the great Dave Daly once told me, you never want to eliminate your fears. You want to control them. And when Dave Daly says something, I listen, because not only is he a very big man, but I respect the hell out of him. And he's very, very wise and a good friend. Your internal controls your external, meaning that if you're always worried about where your money's coming from, if you're worried about love, if you're constantly feeling like you're poor, if you have very low self-esteem, if you don't have control over your weight, any of these things, it's going to affect the way your business performs, period, dot. So journaling helps a lot. Therapy helps a lot. Talking to people, having deep, meaningful conversations. I have great conversations with Jillian every week, and we really get to the root of personal stuff, and it's kind of like good therapy for each of us. And what's really good about it is that we both have very different perspectives on the world and very different backgrounds. And so it's good. And I think I think she gets a lot of value from me being a military guy, and I get a lot of value from her being a completely spiritual-based entrepreneur, and I love her to death for that. I think it's been an amazing friendship, and going on a decade now. So work on your internals, and the more spirituality you can invoke into your business, the better control and the better reactions you're going to have towards things. Because I'll tell you, 2025 took me in the back alley and beat the shit out of me numerous times, between tax stuff, between my grandmother's care, between business structures, changing agreements with business partners, client stuff. Fuck. I had 2025 was one of the hardest years I ever had, but it was also one of the most expansive years I've ever had. And I'm grateful for it. I despise the amount of challenges that were put in front of me, and it caused me an undue amount of anxiety and stress. Understand that it's very important, if you feel like things are holding you back, that you isolate where they're coming from. That's a big deal. Yeah, enough on that. But just journaling, gratitude, keeping good friends around, self-care, meditating, candles, being one with nature and animals. These are all good things. Number 3 is challenge yourself. And this means that internally we all have a certain level. When I'm running, I call it the wall. The wall is where you think your limit is. So if I think I can run for 15 minutes, that's my wall. Learn to push yourself past your boundaries. So if I find that, hey, at 15 minutes, I need to walk, or I'm going to look like Danny DeVito, panting and out of breath and gross, I'll push myself another 2 minutes, another 5 minutes, another 10 minutes, whatever. Push that wall further and further. And that applies to a lot of things: business, exercise, when you knock off for the day, whatever. But challenge yourself to have a higher sales quota for the month. Challenge yourself to earn more money than you ever have. Challenge yourself to get that project done. Challenge yourself to run a better business than you ever have. Like, outperforming your self-imposed limits is one of the greatest feelings you're ever going to have. And I'll tell you, on the months where I did really, really well because things came together, it just blew my mind and changed my perspective on things. Number 4 is experiment. And what this means is this is not a pass to throw spaghetti at the wall. When we hear the expression throw spaghetti at the wall, it's people that are desperate to have some kind of sale or result, and they'll try pretty much anything, versus experimenting, which is not done out of desperation. It's trying a different tactic, monitoring, analyzing, gauging, run your analytics, see what does well, and then compare it to something else. That is experimenting. Experimenting might be, in my case, like maybe I'll try a different press release service. Maybe I'll try a different way of contacting reporters. Maybe I'll implement AI for better PR use. Point is, experimenting means trying new things, but not out of desperation. And it's, like I said, it's not the same as throwing spaghetti at the wall, because that's amateur shit. And then number 5 is less is more, meaning that there's nothing significant about having 42 tasks to do today. You'll get a lot more done if you whittle it down to the most important things and get those done first, the things that have the highest amount of impact. When I see somebody that's got, 32 things that they have to handle today, my first question is, why the fuck don't you have an assistant? And why are you doing this when a third of these should be delegated to somebody? If you're trying to do everything, you're doing nothing except stressing yourself out and taking yourself to an early grave. Less is more is important. So whatever your to-do list is, if it's 20, 30 items, pick out 5 or 6 that are super important. And whenever I make my to-do list, and sometimes it gets crazy because I have PR clients, I have a magazine, I have book projects I'm writing, I have Air Force Reserve duty, on top of just trying to have a normal life. And anytime I'm writing out to-do lists for all this shit, I put a letter next to the tasks so that I can prioritize. So if I put a U next to it, that means urgent. That's the first thing I need to do. If I put an I next to it, it means important. So that means I'll do my best to get it done today. And then if I put an L next to it, it means low importance. And by doing this, this helps to prioritize, and this helps me to show what I need to work on first. So anyway, those are my top tips for being successful. So be a student, focus on the internal and external, challenge yourself, experiment with things, and embrace the concept of less is more. And these are ways that you're going to win in 2026. All right. That's all I got for this year. Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist, and as always, stay famous. See you guys next time.